Hello, everyone, and welcome to Barca News. It's December 24th, 2022, and the court has rejected Barcelona's appeal. Also, it's reported that the club are not going to ask Frenkie de Jong to reduce his salary, and Lamine Yamal could be getting his debut with the first team pretty soon. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and I'm currently out of town visiting my family for the holidays. So I'm away from my computer and all of my equipment. So I'm bringing you this live video with the most up-to-date Barcelona news. So please bear with me as I bring you the most up-to-date news through this live and unedited video. Now, before we begin with the news, it is December 24th. So for all of you who do celebrate Christmas on the 24th rather than the 25th, I would like to wish you and your family a Merry Christmas, and I hope you have a great and blessed day with all of your loved ones. Now, we'll begin with the news that the Barcelona Court of Appeals has rejected Court of Arbitration has rejected Barcelona's appeal, and as such, Robert Lewandowski is going to have to serve a 3-match ban. Now, Robert Lewandowski received 2 consecutive yellow cards in Barcelona's last match against Osasuna before the World Cup break. And as such, he was expelled from that match. And by the football regulation, he was supposed to receive a one-match ban automatically. However, he was issued a 3-match ban because the gesture that he made on his way out of the field, where he touched his nose like this, and the referee interpreted that Robert Lewandowski was saying that Gil Manzano, the referee, was being arrogant. Now, Robert Lewandowski explained after the match that that gesture was not directed at the referee, that it was directed at Xavi, because Xavi had told Lewandowski prior to the match to be careful about getting any yellow cards. And since Lewandowski received 2 yellow cards during the first half, he gestured at Xavi saying, hey, look, what we talked about just happened. Now, despite this explanation, Robert Lewandowski was issued a 3-match ban, which Barcelona appealed, and that appeal was rejected. And then Barcelona appealed that decision to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. And this court has now also rejected Barcelona's appeal. So the decision is final, and Robert Lewandowski will have to serve a 3-match ban, and he's going to miss 3 important matches for Barcelona, beginning with the Catalan Derby against Espanyol, and followed by the matches against Atletico de Madrid and Getafe. And this will be a big blow for Barcelona because, after all, Lewandowski is the team's top scorer, and he's the Spanish league's top scorer as well. So Barcelona are going to have to see what to do to replace those goals that Lewandowski is not going to be able to contribute during those first 3 matches. Now, I believe that this decision is an absolute shame, and once again, it reflects the mediocrity of Spanish refereeing, which I've been talking about in my previous videos, because this decision not only is not being applied in a uniform way, but it's also setting a dangerous precedent. Now, for example, Real Madrid's coach Carlo Ancelotti, a few days before the World Cup, came out during a press conference and said that the referee had made up a penalty kick, and yet he was not punished, and nothing happened to the Real Madrid's coach, which is an absolutely different outcome than Robert Lewandowski, who only made a gesture of touching his nose, which could be interpreted in different ways, and yet he was issued a 3-match ban. So not only is there injustice and inequality of how bans are being applied on different members of different teams, but it's also setting a dangerous precedent, which is saying that it's better to criticize the referee with your actual words during press conferences in front of the entire press than make a gesture which could be interpreted in different ways. Now, nonetheless, Xavi has reportedly been practicing during training and trying out his different options, preparing for this outcome, because Barcelona were pretty sure that this was going to be the outcome and that Lewandowski was going to have to serve his 3-match ban. And it's reported that Xavi has been trying out different variables to see who he's going to replace Lewandowski with. And it looks like Xavi has 3 options to replace Lewandowski, which are Ansu Fati, Ferran Torres, and Memphis Depay. Now, all 3 options, I believe, are good ones because, after all, Memphis Depay has played in that 9 position, and he had a great season last season playing in that same exact position. And then Ferran Torres has also played as a number 9 at Manchester City, where he did a pretty good job. And then there's Ansu Fati, who we've all seen his natural ability to score goals. But I would like to hear from you. Who do you think Xavi should replace Robert Lewandowski with? So make sure you drop a comment down below. Now, on to the news that during an interview, Pedri chose his favorite player to replace Sergio Busquets in a pivot position, and that player is Frenkie de Jong. Now, Pedri went ahead and talked about all the qualities that Frenkie de Jong has that the fans don't seem to notice, and he talked about how Frenkie de Jong has done a wonderful job in the pivot position whenever he played in that position, and how Frenkie de Jong always does a wonderful job in the pivot position when he plays with the Dutch team. And finally, Pedri concluded by saying that whenever Frenkie de Jong is not on the field, that the rest of the players feel his absence because of what he contributes to the team. Now, I would like to hear from you. Who do you think should replace Sergio Busquets? Should Barcelona replace Frenkie de Jong like Pedri is suggesting, or should the club continue to look for a replacement in the market? So make sure you drop a comment down below. Now, I personally was at first against Frenkie de Jong replacing Busquets because I like him better as an interior. By seeing all the options that have been linked with Barcelona as of recent, I think I do agree with Pedri and Frenkie de Jong should be Busquets' replacement because, after all, I don't think the club should spend 60 million euros on Martin Subimendi, who has yet to prove himself on the big stage. And even though Ruben Neves is the sporting committee's favorite option, I also don't think he's the right profile to replace Busquets because I don't see him as a pivot who can set the tempo, distribute the ball, and organize the team, which is the pivot's job in the Barcelona scheme of play. And when you look at all the free agent options like Ilkay Gundogan, Jorginho, or N'Golo Kante, I believe that all of those players are already past their prime and they are in their 30s, so they're not really long-term solutions. And Barcelona are going to have to search for their replacement in another season or two, given their advanced ages. And even when you look at Kante, who Barcelona have been linked with the most, it's been reported that he's suffering from another injury yet once again, and that he's going to be out of action until February. Now, speaking of Frenkie de Jong, it's reported that the club have decided not to ask the player to reduce his salary. Now, Barcelona attempted to offload Frenkie de Jong this past summer because he has an incredibly high salary that's way above market value, and it's also very high that Barcelona cannot afford. In fact, it's the highest salary on the squad and the highest salary in the entire Spanish league. However, Frenkie de Jong remained in Barcelona because he insisted that he didn't want to leave. And there were reports that Barcelona wanted to negotiate with Frenkie de Jong to reduce his salary, to bring it down to a level that reflects his market value, and to also bring down his salary under the strict pay scale that Joan Laporta has implemented, where no player could earn more than 10 million euros. Well, Joan Laporta has now said that Frenkie de Jong is an untouchable player and that they're no longer going to be looking to offload him. And in fact, they have communicated with Frenkie de Jong's agent and told them that the club are not going to be asking the player to reduce his salary. Now, instead, the club are hoping that Frenkie de Jong takes the initiative and contacts the club and is the one who makes the first step to try to reduce his salary. And I really hope that's the case because at the end of the day, no matter how upset Frenkie de Jong is with the board of directors, by not reducing his salary, he's not hurting the board of directors. He is hurting the club during a difficult financial situation. Now, it seems that Barcelona have also decided not to ask Mar Stegen to reduce his salary, and they're also going to depend on the German goalkeeper to take the first step and take the initiative in reaching out to the club to try to reduce his salary. Now, on to the news that both Ousmane Dembele and Jules Koundé could be getting some playing time in Barcelona's first match after the World Cup has concluded. Now, both Dembele and Koundé are the two remaining players that have yet to go back to Barcelona and get reincorporated into the trainings because they did make it all the way to the final of the 2022 Qatar World Cup, and they're not scheduled to return to Barcelona until December 28th, with Barcelona due to play the Catalan Derby a few days later on December 31st. Now, despite this, it's reported that Xavi could be giving both French players some playing time during the Catalan Derby because Barcelona are looking to start the La Liga once again, firing on all cylinders because they are currently in the lead, and any small hiccup could mean that Barcelona end up losing the title race. Now, another player that could be getting some playing time in the Catalan Derby is Ronald Araujo. Ronald Araujo suffered an injury during the international break back in September, and this injury caused him to undergo surgery on his thigh, and it was expected that Ronald Araujo could be out of action for 3 months. Well, it seems that Ronald Araujo has been recovering much faster and much better than initially anticipated, and he's actually been training with the first team without any problems, and he could be given the medical green light in this upcoming days. There's even talks that Xavi could give him some playing time in the Catalan derby. Now on to the news that Lamine Yamal could be getting his debut with the first team pretty soon. Now, as I reported in yesterday's video, Lamine Yamal is a 15-year-old winger who currently plays for the Barcelona under-19 youth team, and he has been training with the first team since the team resumed their training after the World Cup break. And it's reported that Xavi is absolutely mesmerized with this young star, and that many of his coaching staff say that they haven't seen quite talent like this in many years. Now, it's reported that Lamine Yamal could be getting his first debut with Barcelona first team, and that he could be playing or could be given some playing time during Barcelona's Copa del Rey match, which will be played on January 4th. Now, Lamine Yamal's contract will expire in the summer of 2024, and once he turns 16, he will be able to sign his first professional contract. And Barcelona are hoping to give this professional contract to the young star, and they have decided to give him some playing time with the first team to show the young player that Barcelona are betting on him, and they want him to succeed at the club, because they are anticipating a very difficult negotiation with Lamine Yamal's father, who will be looking to squeeze the last dime out of the club. Now, speaking of the Copa del Rey, as I reported yesterday, Barcelona now know who their opponent is, which is Intercity from the Spanish third division, and this match will be played on Wednesday, January 4th. Now, even though Intercity are playing the third division, Barcelona should not take this opponent lightly, because it's reported that Intercity have the best budget out of all the teams in the third division, because they are backed by an investment fund in Dubai. And it's reported that Intercity have some of the best players in the third division. And in fact, 8 of their players went through the Barcelona Academy. So the club should definitely not take this opponent lightly, because after all, with the new format of the Copa del Rey, where teams only play one match instead of 2, one home and one away, any big team could be knocked out, as we saw during last season, which is when this format was initially used. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I'd like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you can stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. And as always, Visca Barça.